Hello there good people, it's Alex here from Notebookcheck Reviews. When we think of a yoga laptop, most of us think of a metal convertible notebook with a 360-degree hinge and good build quality. While the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7i Pro X bucks the 2-in-1 trend the line is most famous for, it keeps the high-end feel and sleek design that continues to make yoga laptops so desirable. The slim 14-incher can back up its pretty looks with quite the spec sheet. In our review unit comes with an i7-12700H, RTX 3050, 32GB of LPDDR5 memory, a 1TB SSD and a 16x10 120Hz IPS display. The Slim 7's design changes the yoga formula in subtle ways, while retaining the brand's highlights. Gone are the straight edges around the laptop. Instead, the Pro's edges are rounded, giving the notebook a softer feel when carrying it. Speaking of carrying, the Yoga is easy to schlep thanks to those rounded edges and its reasonable weight of 1.5 kg or 3.4 pounds. It lives up to its name in terms of slimness, coming in at only 18mm. The 7i's two-tone coloration is also familiar to yoga fans. The lid is a bit darker than the metallic grey keyboard deck, adding some flavor to an already excellent looking laptop. In addition to its good looks, the Lenovo is solidly built. We didn't notice any flex across the keyboard deck, and the hinges, which can open flat to 180 degrees by the way, hold the display firmly in place when typing. The lid can be fully opened with one hand, which is a nice touch. Overall, this puppy looks good, feels good and is built exceptionally well. Nice job Lenovo. While the Yoga Slim's build quality is great, its port selection isn't so much. There's a single USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port on the right and two USB-C ports and a single HDMI port on the left. Thankfully, both USB-C ports support DisplayPort, Power Delivery and Thunderbolt 4, so you can add some flexibility via dongles. On the other hand, one of them is always on charging duty. Rounding out the I/O is a camera kill switch and headset jack on the right and of course the power button. Wireless communication is handled by an Intel AX211 card and speeds are lightning fast. We measured transmit and receive speeds above 1400 and 1700 Mbits per second respectively, and connections were stable throughout our tests. The Full HD webcam delivers decent image quality. It's good enough for your occasional Zoom or Teams call, but a good lighting setup is required. A proper ThinkPad in terms of maintenance, this one is not. While the button plate can be easily removed, there's not a whole lot to do in there. Only the M2 SSD and the Wi-Fi card are removable. Regarding inputs, the keyboard is a little shallow, offering only 1mm of key travel. On the plus side, it's quiet and has a clear pressure point. It's good enough for most users, but typers or ThinkPad aficionados may be a little disappointed. The touchpad on the other hand is excellent. It's massive, has a great feel and is quite responsive. On the display side of things, you'd be forgiven if you thought the Pro X had an OLED display. It's really just that good. It is a standard IPS panel though, but with a very high contrast ratio of roughly 1500:1, a fairly bright backlight and high color accuracy. It's really the next best thing to a high-end OLED screen. Where the Yoga's display falters a little bit is response times. They are okay, but they do lean on the slower side, especially compared to OLED. Another downside is the highly reflected glass covering the screen, which makes it a bit hard to use outdoors. However, one advantage this IPS screen has over OLEDs is PWM, since it's just really not a thing with this panel. System performance is fantastic. The Alder Lake Core i7-12700H shows that it still has a place in 2023. Thanks to 6 hyper-threaded P cores and 8 E cores, the 12700H flies through both single and multi-threaded workloads. Considering how compact the Slim 7i really is, it is seriously impressive to see this level of performance. You'd have to upgrade to a full-on gaming laptop to get better numbers. But let's take a look at some benchmarks. The Pro X keeps pace with other laptops powered by the i7-12700H. It outshines AMD's Ryzen 6000 series by about 15 to 20% in both multi and single core benchmarks. For a more detailed look into our benchmark results, please follow the link to the written review in the caption below. We should note that because the Slim 7i is so thin, Lenovo tuned the laptop CPU down to 65 watts from its regular 85 watts. And on battery, the CPU's TDP is further throttled to 35 watts, which does significantly reduce performance as usual. Other performance points are equally good. The installed Micron SSD is SIBI and the overall system experience is snappy and very responsive. Graphics performance is pretty decent as well, thanks to the Nvidia RTX 3050, which is set to a TGP of 50 watts in this machine. You can even game at medium to high settings at 1080p, although gaming at the screen's native resolution is unfortunately out of reach. The Yoga's fan is usually silent. It will rev up for short bursts under load, where it can get quite audible. However, it usually spins so low you can barely hear it. And most of the laptop's case stays fairly cool, though we did catch a hotspot in the middle of the top of the keyboard and in the middle of the top of the button panel. As such, you should avoid heavy work if the Yoga is in your lap. We took some noise samples during different workloads for you guys, so you can get an idea of what to expect when it comes to fan noise and temperatures. While the Yoga Slim 7i Pro X uses a fairly low amount of power while idling, we noticed it consumes an average of 85 watts under load. As such, the laptop's 70 Wh battery gives up the ghost after an hour and a half under stress. For normal use, the 7i Pro X can't quite last a workday. During our Wi-Fi battery test, the laptop managed to last a minute under 6 hours, so you'll need to bring your charger to work. Alright fellas, let's wrap this up for today. If you are in the market for a slim and sleek laptop with enough power for media work, heavy computations and some mid-range gaming, the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7i Pro X should be on your shortlist. It is a very well-built machine that offers a lot of power in a compact and aesthetically pleasing package. There are some drawbacks of course. For one, the Yoga's battery life, while okay, isn't great, and its port selection also left us a little wanting. However, if you are looking for a great all-rounder wrapped in an attractive and sturdy shell and a stellar display, the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7i Pro X is a good option for you. That would be it for now. Thanks a ton for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed the content and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name is Alex, you have been awesome and I catch you all in the next one. Take care.